welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at your October predictions, what is coming for you the month of October. Now, please rest assured that these messages are always timeless, so even if you're stumbling across this in November, December, January, it really doesn't matter. It is more about when you find it and kind of the next month and what you can expect. But if you are looking at this now, I set intention for this to be for the month of October for those of you that find it now. So if you already know how pick-a-cards work, this is pile number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. You can head to the timestamps down below. If you're unfamiliar with how pick-a-cards work, allow me to give you a little bit of an explanation. So what you're going to want to do is pause this video and meditate on the cards. You can actually just see which one really calls out to you. If maybe one of your favorite colors is present right now. Or you can also just say the numbers 111, 222, 333 over and over and kind of see which of these numbers is kind of calling out to you. You can also look at the timestamps and see if any of your lucky numbers are in the timestamps. That's often how I find pick-a-cards for myself when I'm viewing others, is if my lucky numbers are present, I always know that it's for me. But the thing to know about this is you are never going to choose wrong. The fact that you're even here means that you resonate on the frequency with this, because you cannot perceive that which you are not a vibrational match for. So you're never going to choose wrong. Some people listen to the entire video and they will choose based on what resonates for them, which pile, instead of just choosing one. Some people feel called to multiple piles, so they'll watch more than one. Honestly, just trust your own intuition with this. Like I said, you're never going to choose wrong on this. And also, please keep in mind, this is a general reading, so some people are only going to resonate with one card, and that is going to be the full message for that person. Some people are going to resonate with the entire message. Because it is generalized, there are so many messages that are coming through to me that there's no way I could hit every single person perfectly. So just keep in mind that it might be parts of the reading, it might be the entire reading, but just keep that in mind. Take what resonates and leave the rest always. Now, I'm going to go ahead and quiet up now for a few seconds and play some music so you can take a moment to meditate on the cards and make a choice. All right, let's go ahead and get into the readings. Hello, my beautiful pile number 1s. Welcome in. If you chose pile number 1, this is the pile for you to see what's going to happen in October for you this year. So first and foremost, you know me, if you're new. If you're not new to the channel, I always like to start out with a bit of an intention candle. And today, if you chose pile number 1, you chose the orange candle. And orange candles to me, I feel specifically really speak on ambition, career success. And if you're not in a career, this could also be like school success or just life success in general. I feel like if you've needed like an extra oomph to something in your life, this is really the candle that symbolizes that. And it's just kind of like going after your dreams. So go ahead and choose an intention, something you'd like to bring into your life. It could be something that you maybe need to manifest for this career. I'm hearing some of you actually need to manifest cameras. I don't know why that came out specifically, but some of you may want to consider manifesting that with this because it is potentially very career focused for you. Now, you don't have to choose this in particular, like you don't have to choose anything that I mentioned. You can choose whatever you want with this, but if you would like to kind of go off of the color correspondence, please do so. The orange candle also symbolizes Leo energy. Some of you might be Leos, maybe not as well, or you are just a fire sign, but let's go ahead. I'm going to set this up for you as you come up with an intention for yourself. And we're just going to kind of melt the bottom a little bit. Pro tip, if you ever have candles that you can't get to stay in the holder, that's how you get them to stay. And go ahead and hold on to that intention for just a moment. We're going to take a deep breath together. I like to put my hand over my heart and think about my intention. And you can put your hands wherever though. And let's go ahead and just hold on to that and take a deep breath. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and light this for you. And what this is gonna do is, as this burns down, it will burn down all the way off camera, but as this burns down all the way completely, it's going to send your intention out into the universe and back to you. So go ahead and claim your blessing. And we can also read the flame sometimes during the reading if something is happening with that. Now, I will say right off the bat, this is a very small flame right away, which does tell me that it might take a little bit of time for this one to come in. When the candle is hard to light or the flame starts off really small, there might be some things that you kind of need to work through first before that intention can come in. So just be aware of that. We'll go ahead and move this off to the top of our reading and we'll keep our eye on it. So we do have the Astro dice with us today. We'll be reading these in a little bit for this reading, but yeah, we'll be doing that in a bit. It's kind of like a little extra thing I wanted to do at the end of the reading, but let's go ahead and actually see what is coming in for you. So first and foremost, we have the World card. We have the Nine of Swords. Ooh, okay. Don't worry. I try not to have reactions like that when I'm reading, but that is my gut reaction, was to go, ooh, okay. But I know that card looks really scary. Like, look at this card. This card looks like creepy. Like, she's scary. But I think that's why I said ooh, just because in this deck in particular, she looks kind of scary, but we'll get to that. We also have the Nine of Cups. Love that for you. And then we also have the Two of Wands reversed. So with these cards, what I'm seeing right off the bat, first and foremost, with the World and the Nine of Cups, the World to me, there's like a handful of cards in the tarot that they are just like really, really favorable. And you have two of them in here. To me, the Sun is also really favorable, but these two cards to me are extremely favorable, especially the Nine of Cups. But the World is the ending and the beginning. The World also can resemble karma sometimes. It can be that you are overcoming karma, paying off the karmic debt, and you're kind of ready to be born again, to start over. The World also just symbolizes completion and oneness. Some of you maybe need to actually study, I'm hearing, the law of oneness. Like, that's something that's really going to change your life. But it truly is the ending and the beginning. And it also, with the Nine of Cups, especially if you did look towards manifesting something for your career, the Nine of Cups is the manifestation card. So like, this is like a wish truly being granted to you. This, to me, honestly, I feel like next to like the Sun, Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, like, these are cards that, like, when I see them, like, just know that this is such a favorable thing. I know I kind of already said that, but I really want to like drill it in that this is such a favorable outcome. This is like something you've been wanting for a while is finally going to come to you in like an unexpected way. Now, the two things I do feel like I really need to say about this, though, is we do have the Two of Wands reversed and we do have the Nine of Swords. Now, many of you are feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, a lot of doubts. Maybe your dreams have also been really crazy and like keeping you up at night. Some of you are feeling very like you're just not sleeping very well. And with the Nine of Swords, like, this is just like, you're letting your mind get in the way of your triumphs. You're letting your emotions kind of dictate how you're going to act and how you're going to move forward in a way. And so by doing that, it's like these beautiful things want to happen for you, but you're not allowing yourself to actually make the choices that would kind of lead you down that path. Because with the Two of Wands, especially in a reversed position, the Two of Wands in an upright position, I feel like when I read reversals, I always want to talk about the upright a little bit. I want to touch on it. So with the Two of Wands, normally this is like manifesting anything, having the world literally in your hands and being able to call anything in. But with the Two of Wands being reversed, it's like you don't even know what you want. You're very unclear about the vision that you have for yourself. And so because of that, I think you're also scared that you're going to like bring bad things into your life. Like you're somebody that when anything good happens to you, you're like constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I want to tell you, this is so normal. So many people feel this way. You are not by yourself with this. Many people are so used to being hurt by people, by things, by situations that when something good happens, you're waiting for the hurt to come. And it's not great. Sorry, I'm listening for a moment. Your guides don't want you to feel this way. They don't want you to continue to struggle, to continue to not think that miracles can happen for you, and to not think that you're allowed to have beauty in your life and the things that you desire. Because let me tell you something. You don't have desires in your heart because you're not meant to ever see them fulfilled. And I don't know who told you that or taught you that in your life, but we have desire because it actually makes us take the inspired action. When you desire something so bad that you like feel it with every fiber of your being, that it just has to come true, it just has to, that you will take the inspired action on that and make it a reality. And I feel like many of you are scared to even want things. You're scared to even ask for things, when in reality, the moment you ask, it's going to show up. So it's like this fear of like, oh, I'm going to manifest something bad, like bad things are going to be attached to this thing, when in reality, that's not the case. These beautiful things want to happen for you. So we also have deep knowing. We have blessed. Oh, this is one of the best cards in this deck too. Dude, pile number 1 is lit. We have all that glitters. Wow. Okay, so first and foremost, let me scoot these down a bit. With deep knowing, what this tells me is many of you also don't trust your own intuition. You don't trust yourself to, many of you do. I think there are many of you that actually do, but many of you also do not trust your intuition. And you're constantly looking for things outside of yourself to fulfill you, instead of looking within and just taking small steps to start honing the intuition. Because here's the thing, everybody has intuition. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to. I'm not special. Like, yes, I'm sitting here reading cards. Yes, I have a deep spiritual connection with my guides, with the divine. And so I'm able to do these things, but I'm not special. Anybody could sit here and do exactly what I'm doing right now. You just have to work that spiritual muscle. And I feel like many of you just don't even really know where to start, and you haven't trusted yourself for a while. Like, you are kind of new to this realm. You're new to maybe even finding your own spirituality, especially because we have a 9 of Swords and a 9 of Cups. The number 9 symbolizes faith, symbolizes spirituality, and like finding your own spiritual path, not following a spiritual path that has been made out for you, but going on your own. So I feel like many of you, it's a very new realm, and you've kind of been taught to not trust yourself. And so it's going to be a process. It's called work because it's work, my loves. It's not something that is going to just happen overnight. You have to take small steps. You have to start trusting yourself in small ways, because once you start to see how beautiful your life will be when you trust yourself, when you trust yourself above anyone else, when you can slowly start to see how, like, oh, you think something and then you decide to take an action on that and then it comes true, that's going to just continue to reinstill your faith. It's going to continue to help you to understand that you have a deep inner knowing. And ultimately, it's going to lead you to such a beautiful life. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the work of Gabrielle Bernstein, but ooh, that was weird. My nail just like skipped across the table and it made a crazy noise. But I don't know how many of you, I feel like that was a sign right there from Spirit being like, many of you maybe need to look her up. But Gabrielle Bernstein, she is an amazing, phenomenal human being. I love her. She writes books. She's an author. She has tarot card decks, or oracle decks rather, that I have at least one of them. She's wonderful. But she basically lived this life of like addiction. She felt horrible, and she had this huge experience where basically Spirit told her, if you get clean, if you sober up, if you decide to put this part of your life kind of behind you, you will live a life beyond your wildest dreams. And I feel like it's not necessarily addiction for any of you, but I'm telling you that anecdote because it's like, if you allow yourself to just start to live a little more authentically, a little bit more in your intuition, and just start trusting yourself a little bit, you're going to live a life that is truly, truly blessed. And in the month of October, I feel like many of you are going to be receiving that. Now, also, some of you are just going to be receiving blessings, period. Like, there is all that glitters. This is definitely financial abundance. Some of you are also, obviously, a lot of theater production isn't running right now, at least when I'm filming this. It might be by the time it goes live. But some of you also, I'm hearing, are going to maybe be getting like a part in a theater, or you're wanting to go out for acting in some way. But with all that glitters, this is like anything you want, you will be able to receive that. And I feel like you're going to start to see in the month of October these like beautiful things coming in for you. I feel like some of you are also very gifted. And I've said this before as well, that there is a difference between being psychically gifted and psychically talented. Talented is like somebody has worked really hard to hone their skill. It doesn't make you any less valuable than somebody who is gifted, but it just takes a bit more work. Somebody who is gifted, they kind of have a natural knack for their psychic gift. And I feel like many of you are actually going to also be discovering those, that you are naturally gifted. You're naturally blessed with something the month of October. Some of you also, there is this owl here. Your spirit animal might be an owl. Just like to point that out. And also, I'm hearing that there is a specific guide in your life that wants to reach out with you, because we have this beautiful sun back here with, there's kind of a face. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but there is a specific guide. You have more than one, but there is one in particular that really wants to come forth and bless you. So I would ask like which one that is, and kind of wait for that confirmation to come through. Now we also have Black Cat, which is fortune meets opportunity, and we have ghost. So that's interesting that this would come up over here. So with fortune meets opportunity, many of you that chose this for the career blessing, the ambition blessing, going after your dreams, fortune and opportunity are on their way with that. Fortune and opportunity are basically where you see an opportunity, it's not too good to be true. Some of you are having this fear when an opportunity comes up for you in October that it's like too good to be true for you. And ultimately that's not the case. Like, you will be very fortuitous because of this opportunity, and it will be good for you. Also, I think this is really interesting. We have these two eyes back here with this cat in front. We also have this back here in front of the gold. There is definitely a strong presence coming through for you. And please don't be scared of that. There are many people that will show up in my videos that are like, oh, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to see my guides. I don't want to meet them. I'm scared of ghosts. But hear me out. Your guide is never going to reveal themselves to you unless you are in a place where you can handle that. They're never just going to like show their face to you like that unless you are literally in a place where you are open and receptive to receive that, or it needs to be revealed to you for a reason. They're not just going to pop out from behind your couch and scare the living crap out of you. That will never happen, I promise. Because they're here to help you and love you. They're not here to freak you out. So you never have to be scared of that. Now, I'm not saying that things like that don't necessarily, I mean, that's never happened to me, but I'm not saying that things like that don't ever happen. But what I'm saying is that you have to be in a place where you're receptive enough to see it. And it would happen for a reason. You're never going to see something without reason. So just keep that in mind. Like, you don't need to be afraid of this. And then with Black Cat also, some of you, this comes up a lot as well, but some of you, your spirit animal is also a black cat, or you may have black cats as well. Now with this ghost card, I want to talk about this. This says regrets. I feel like something we need to really address in this card is the ghost card. when we talk about like earthbound souls, because that's what a ghost is an earthbound soul. And usually, at least in the history of us and learning about the other realms, there are many different ways to talk about this. And so just bear with me while we talk about this specific way. But normally with earthbound souls, they have unfinished business. And so it's like they will reach out or stay around because they want to finish something that they don't feel like they really had the time or will to do in their life. Or they're here because they have past regrets and they don't want to see that continued in a line. I'm hearing that many of you have a spirit guide that is an ancestor. It is someone that in your family line has passed away that doesn't want to see you go down the same path. They want better for you. And so they are hanging around because they want you to know that you can make a difference. You can make a different choice. You can go after something different and not make those same mistakes. Now, many of you still, this is like the same message again, have a particular one singular guide that really wants to work with you. And it could be an ancestor. It could be a passed on loved one. I'm not getting a particular energy. I don't think that this is male or female necessarily. So unfortunately, I think there's too many of you that have this. And so I can't get a beat on something that specific, but it's definitely somebody family related. Now, the last two cards that we have are the 10th house, which is the world, which is so crazy because we also have the world up here. And then we also have Mercury mind. So with the world and with Mercury minds, I feel like many of you are very intellectual. Many of you have thought about a lot of different things that you could do in your life. And the thing that really is coming through strongly right now is that even though you are multifaceted, extremely talented, extremely intellectual, ask yourself what makes you the happiest. Is it, like something that you want to maybe go into doing? What makes you the happiest? Do you love to crochet? Do you love to knit? Do you love to paint? Do you love to do photography? Do you love talking? Do you love being on camera? Do you love studying film? Do you love nature? Do you, I could go on and on here. Do you love animals? Whatever it is that truly lights you up from the inside out, go after that, because you have things that also light you up from the inside out, because those are your passions. Those are the things that you will be the most fulfilled doing those things. And so that is I feel like many of you, there's too many decisions that you would have to make. And just go with the thing that feels the best. Not this is going to make me the most money. Not this is going to give me the most fame, the most popularity. Because when you actually follow that thing that lights you up truly in your mind, you have no choice but to have fame. You have no choice but to have true abundance and treasure come your way, blessings come your way. Because again, kind of like with what I was speaking on before, life isn't meant to be this difficult thing. You're not meant to sit here and struggle, but you're also given desire. You're given passion. You're given those things that really light you up in your life, because you knew before coming here in your soul contract that you wanted to experience life a certain way. You wanted to fulfill life a certain way. Now, of course, there's a multitude of ways you can do that. However, you knew the things that would light you up because you placed those there. Those things that light you up because those are the things that are going to further you. Those are the things that other people in the world need to see or need to see you experience. Because when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower every single person around you to do that same thing. So ultimately, also with the world, that is something I didn't touch on. The world also can mean fame. So if you're looking to be famous in a certain way, especially if it's acting or some kind of creative endeavor, in the month of October, I feel like the idea to do whatever it is, or you might already be doing it and the fame is going to start to happen. But some of you, the idea is going to actually spark, and you just have to be willing to actually decide on what you want and stop being so afraid that what you desire is not possible for you, because it's not true. You have this amazing guide, this amazing ancestor that wants to come in and actually help you to do this thing. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to go after those dreams. So claim your blessing, my beautiful soul. Please do not fear doing that. Let's go ahead and roll the astro dice before we head out and just kind of see one last little prediction of what we can expect for the month of October for you. So we have Pisces. Some of you actually might be Pisces. We have 11. Oh my gosh. The 11th house is the wishing house. It is also the fame house in a lot of instances. It rules over the sign of Aquarius. And then we also have, I want to say this is Uranus, but it might be Neptune. I feel like I need to freaking pull it up really quick because I'm getting it confused. But let's talk a little bit about first of all, Pisces. With Pisces here, it's not Uranus. It actually, no, it is. It is Uranus. Okay. I don't know if it's Uranus or Uranus, but either way. So with Pisces, like I said, some of you might be Pisces or a water sign. You might be dealing with a Pisces, but also Pisces to me is the dreamer. They are the person that they have really big dreams. They're extremely creative, and allow yourself to dream big. With the 11th house, again, this is the fame house. This is the wishing house. If there's something that you're wanting to call in during the month of October, I really feel like your big dreams are going to start to take root. And there's a chance that some of you are really going to pop off in the month of October. Like some of you that have been really working hard on something, the month of October is going to be huge for you. And with Uranus here, or Uranus, with Uranus here, this to me really symbolizes change, big dramatic changes in your life, because that's what Uranus does when it moves through the planetary signs, when it moves through the cosmos, if you will. It really does kind of shake things up, and usually it's in huge unexpected ways. So I feel like the month of October, you can expect some really major shifts, but don't be afraid of it, because honestly, you have so many good cards here. It's going to be a change for the better. So I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to your month. I love this for you so much, pile number one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Kloee Taylor. I do giveaways on there sometimes as well. When we reach new milestones here, I'll do little Instagram giveaways. So make sure you follow me over there. If you want any of these decks or the astro dice or the candles, I link everything down below in the order that it appears. And if you feel called to, it is never expected, but always appreciated. I do also have donation links down below for my PayPal, Cashapp, and Venmo. If this resonated with you at all and you're able to, I would definitely appreciate it. But again, please never feel like you have to do that. I don't do these readings because I expect money from you or something from you. I do these because I feel called to do them. I feel called to put these messages out there. It is part of my divine purpose. But again, always appreciated, never expected. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number twos. If you chose this pile, this is the pile that is going to tell you what is coming for you the month of October. So first and foremost, if you are not new to my pick of cards, then you already know. If you're new though, let me explain just a little bit. We do have an intention candle, and if you chose this pile, you chose the blue intention candle. Now, blue symbolizes the element of water. It can also be water signs. So this would be Cancer, oh my gosh, my mind's drawing a blank. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So you may be one of those as well. It also symbolizes your emotions, peace, and tranquility. So if you chose this candle, you can set any intention you would like to, but feel free to choose one of those as well. And basically, you're just going to want to choose something that you want to bring into your life. Maybe it's more emotional stability, emotional clarity. Maybe it is one of those water signs. You want to choose something that you want to bring into your life from the universe. And let me go ahead and set this up as you kind of think on that for a moment. I'm just going to melt the bottom a bit. so we can get it to stand up straight for us so we can get a nice straight burn. But what I would do for this is once you have your intention, I'm going to go ahead and place my hand over my heart. You can do the same. You can put your hands wherever you want to. And we're just going to take a deep breath and focus our intention on whatever that thing is. So let's do that. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and light this up for you. And what that's going to actually do is as this candle burns down, that sends your intention out into the universe so it can come back to you. So we are going to be manifesting whatever that is. And I also like to read candle flames in these readings sometimes. So it depends. Like sometimes the flame will do certain things at certain points of the reading. Now, pile number 1 was also like this, but the flame seems to start really small, which I feel like October is kind of a new month for many of us. I mean, obviously it's a new month for everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. But it's a new month for everyone. But what I mean is like intentionally, this is literally a time where you are planting brand new seeds. And so I feel like whatever you are trying to bring in, it might be kind of a slow start, but that doesn't mean to give up hope. So we're going to go ahead and just push this up to the corner so we can kind of keep an eye on it. And, excuse me. We do have the Astro dice with us today. I'm going to use those at the end of the reading. It's going to be a fun time. And let's go ahead and pull up these cards and see what's going on. So we have the Ace of Wands reversed. We have the Seven of Swords reversed. We also have the Son of Swords reversed. And we have the Six of Pentacles reversed. Okay, and don't be alarmed that all of these are reversed because allow me to explain. So for the month of October, I feel that many of you, some really serious truths are going to be revealed. Things that you have been questioning, maybe even at your own friendship circle. There are going to be people that are going to come forward, or things are going to get revealed to you that you've really been waiting for answers on. And they might be a little bit shocking. They might not be your favorite things to hear. I say that because with the Seven of Swords, normally this is like secrets being hidden, or it can be betrayal sometimes. But because we have this in the reverse, this is like secrets of betrayal coming to the surface, that we are now going to be made aware of those things. I am getting the sense that with this Son of Swords, this is potentially an air sign that has done something, because swords do correspond to communication and the air signs. It resembles the element of air. So with the Son of Swords, this could be an air sign that you're dealing with. And also, this is like almost petty. Like I'm getting like a very petty energy in October because, and maybe you're the petty person, I don't know. And the reason I say that it's petty is because with the Son of Swords being reversed, normally when the Son of Swords is upright, this would be like communication is flowing really well. You're getting your point across, you're setting boundaries, like, you know, it's a really good time. But when we have a reversal, it's like somebody's just not having a communication that they need to be having. And because of that, it just feels petty. It's like people are just making assumptions instead of actually saying what's on their mind and having a conversation about what's going on. So I feel like there's a little bit of a petty energy coming in October. We also have the Ace of Wands here, which normally when the aces come in and they are uprights, a lot of times this is like a new gift coming in. And unfortunately, what I'm really feeling is this is like, this situation is like blocking your blessings from you being able to receive them in the month of October. So if this is you that's being petty, like this is just kind of a sign to just say what you need to say and don't be scared of it. You know, have the conversation that you need to have and then move on. Because there's always a way out. You know, I can sit here and tell you what's going to happen, but there's always a different path that can be chosen. I never want you to feel like your fate is now sealed and you're going to be in like this crappy situation, because that's just not the truth. We have the Ace of Wands, though, that's like this blessing wants to come in for you, this new thing, new creative projects. This could be a multitude of things because aces resemble fire. They resemble passion, creativity, sometimes romance as well. And it's like this new thing wants to happen for you, but because you're not moving on from this, it's taking its time. And I also feel like this maybe has kind of rocked you emotionally, because you did intuitively choose the blue candle, and blue candles really do speak to that emotional aspect of us. And I also feel like with this person, whether you are the person who has done the betraying or you have been betrayed, I feel like the big reason that this is happening is one of you feels, whether it's you or them, one of you feels like your relationship has been all one-sided. You are potentially someone that is extremely giving, extremely nurturing, and you are just give, and they're just like running away from you constantly. Or it's the reverse, and they're giving, and you just kind of don't want it. Like, you're done. This is like, it's like you just kind of want to, them or you, like I said, obviously always take what resonates here. You or them, one of you just kind of wants to ghost the other person in the month of October, and you're being told to just kind of actually put it to rest and move on instead of letting this thing linger, because the longer you let it linger, the more duress you're going to be under, the more this person is going to try, the more you're going to try if it's you that's chasing them. It's just like the energy between the two of you is not balanced, it's not equalized, and you're really unhappy, and it's causing discourse. And to me, it feels like it's time to kind of let go. Let go or express what you need from the relationship and make adjustments. I feel like big relationship changes are going to be coming in October for you. And this doesn't have to be with like a lover. This could be with a long-term friendship. Some of you, I feel like, are ready to kind of walk away from childhood friends or like, newer friends even, or like, I'm really hearing that many of you are like looking to walk away from friends that have been in your life for a long time, and you just need to rip the Band-Aid off. For some of you, it will be a partner or even a family member. So just say what you got to say and don't be afraid of it. You know, if you are being honest with yourself, because that's kind of the thing. I feel like I'm also being pushed by spirit to say this, but that's also the other thing, is like, the more you can live your life honestly, the easier life actually becomes. Even when the conversations are difficult and you might have to hurt somebody's feelings, but frankly, like if it's literally just, I don't vibe with you anymore, like I'm in a place where I don't feel like I can make this work anymore, you're being honest about your needs. You're being honest about what you desire. And it's not that person's responsibility to become the person that you need. I mean, maybe that's what they want to do, and you will be able to work it out. But for many of you, like, it's not their responsibility to fill this place that you feel like needs to be filled. And vice versa. It's not your responsibility to fill something for them either. If it's just not working anymore, it's not working anymore. It's kind of like that analogy, that your life is a train and you don't go backwards on the train. It only goes forward. And sometimes your train comes on the tracks with people already on it. And sometimes 4 stops down the road, you have to let them off so you can make room for new passengers. And sometimes you intersect again many years down the line and you cross paths on the tracks again. You know, like it's life is really interesting that way. But don't be scared of this connection, whether you're able to release it or it's something that just needs to change. I feel like right now there's just a lot of discontent in the month of October. It just doesn't feel good. Now, I also feel like for those of you that are not dealing with relationship issues, there's also this, like, you just need to be honest with yourself. There's a lot of self-betrayal going on. There's a lot of negative self-talk going on. You're blocking your own blessings by treating yourself like crap. And you're also overworking yourself. You're not giving enough to yourself. You're giving all of your power and all of your energy away. And so there's none left for you. So I feel like some of you are just downright exhausted. Now we have Yin. We also have Between Worlds. Yeah, many of you are walking away from past connections for sure. And we also have Poised. Wow. Ooh, and look at the candle flame, how much bigger it's gotten since we started the reading. I feel like that's just kind of a big symbol of like how emotionally strong you actually are. Many of you, I feel like, are not feeling so hot. And you actually are a lot stronger than you, I think, even realize. So With this yin energy card, this is really a call to connect back to the divine feminine. And that doesn't matter if you are male, female, or how you identify. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy, or yin and yang energy. And the yin energy really speaks more to being more nurturing, being more gentle with yourself, connecting more with your intuition, connecting more with Mother Earth, connecting more to that feminine side of you. So you just need to be a little bit softer with yourselves the month of October. And then we also have Between Worlds. And this is why I said I feel like many of you, oh, look at this. We also have a 2 and a 3. Isn't that what that? Yeah, this is card 2. This is card 3. So we also have a progression because you are caring so much for yourself. You're kind of crossing over into a life that is more fulfilling for you in the month of October, because with Between Worlds, Between Worlds, it's like your life was in black and white and you were just kind of going through the motions. But in the month of October, it's like things that weren't making sense are going to start to make sense. And you're actually crossing over into a huge new leap in life. And so you kind of have one foot in the past and one foot in the like future, I guess. I hesitate to say present because I feel like you want the future to become your present, but until you can actually deal with this situation that's really troubling you in the month of October, you're kind of in two places at once, and it might feel uncomfortable while that transition is happening. Now, we also have Poised, which I also kind of like to look at these cards like past, present, future. And if we're looking at it that way, Poised is like where you're headed the month of October. So especially, I think it's cool that the present, we have this divide going on, because stepping into the energy of Poised, even if you look at this card, number one, it's beautiful. We have the stars of destiny are present. We have this amazing little like fairy-like creature just kind of jumping for joy in the sunset, just being so elegant and graceful, and so you're ready to just lead your life in a new way. And you're ready to, I feel like many of you, this is so random, but Spirit's like, yeah. Many of you are wanting to like up level your wardrobes as well. I'm hearing like many of you want to be like more mature, I guess. And I hesitate to say mature because I think you can be the most mature person on the planet and wear whatever you want to. I don't think that that's something that has to be for one person or another, or a certain mindset. But I do feel like many of you kind of want to, like this connection that's kind of got you a mess, if it's the connection and not you just kind of self-sabotaging, this connection that's kind of got you a mess, it's like, it's so old that it feels childish. It feels like something that shouldn't even be bothering you anymore and where you're going. And so in the future, it's not going to. If you make those changes this month, you really will be connecting more into the beautiful dance, like this beautiful cosmic dance of life, and just moving through life with so much grace. So I love that for you. We also have the card of forgiveness and the death card. So with these two cards, I do feel that you are probably going to have to do some serious forgiving the month of October, either from this person or towards yourself. I think many of you that chose this pile, it's hard for you to forgive yourself. It's easier for you to forgive others. And even if you've ghosted someone or you want to ghost someone and that message is really resonating with you, it's okay to do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I do think it's good to have the conversation if you can, but sometimes it's just not worth it. And it's not your responsibility to explain it either. But you need to stop feeling so bad about the fact that you've kind of moved on from this person. You've moved on and they just don't suit you anymore. And that's okay. I feel like many of you feel like some of you, this could even be like a long-term partner. And you feel like, no, like I just need to stay. I need to stick it out. And I'm going to feel so awful. I'm the rotten one if I want to leave. And that's just not the case. Like, it's okay for you to want to thrive in new and different ways without the company of this person. And if it's you that needs to do the forgiving of others. Now, I'm never going to be that person that's going to tell you, yeah, you have to forgive everyone and you need to be nice to everyone. Like, no, you don't. I mean, I do believe that forgiveness ultimately is something that we should give to ourselves. And because what happens is if we don't have forgiveness for the situation or others, even if we're not friends with them and we're not speaking to them anymore, we're just drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't help us to hold on to the rage, the anger, the spite. And so ultimately, no matter which way the pendulum swings on this forgiveness card, ultimately it is your treasure to have. It is you are being called to have forgiveness for self or for others because it is a gift for you. Now, we also have the Death card, which I actually really love this card because it really talks about deep transformation. It is the cocoon blossoming into a butterfly. It is the deep transformation. Like whatever this is going to be the month of October. It will be a total change of life, of a situation. And walking away or changing that situation is going to be good for you. But I feel like many of you, I'm feeling fear. Like I feel right in my heart and in my solar plexus, there's so much fear. It's like, I've never done life like this. Like many of you, I feel like might even be older, not all of you, but many of you I do feel like might be older, and maybe there is a disconnect between you and your partner and you kind of are ready to move on, but you feel like I've literally been with this person my entire life, like from like age 19 and I'm like 60 plus or something. I've been with this person my entire life. I don't know a life without them. But honestly, you will. And it might take time to adjust to this change, but ultimately it's going to be best for you because you'll be moving into this life that's filled with so much beauty and so much color and so much just different. Different can be so good. I feel like a lot of you that chose this pile are just very afraid of change and what it can bring. But when you truly trust the divine, that they always they do. They always have your back. Your guides always have your back. They always are there to help support you and guide you and be there for you, even when no one else is. And when you allow the outcome just to be whatever it's going to be, and you just release this fear of, that's ultimately what I'm hearing, is there's like this fear of change. And when you release the fear, you live a life of true beauty. And for those of you that are just in like self-deprecating thoughts or not feeling good about yourself or depleting your own energy, you need to allow yourself to think new thoughts. I feel like many of you are not, like, you want to do all these things. You want to become this person that you can admire and look up to for yourself, but you're not making the changes. You're not doing the subconscious reprogramming. You're not making the time to meditate. You're not making the time to read the books that you know that will help you or learn the skills that you really have wanted to learn for years. And this is a call to make those changes and to actually start taking those things seriously. So the last two cards that we have are the Earth element, stability, and the air element, communication. So for many of you that are separating from a partner in particular that you've always been with, I feel like that's been a strong message for this reading. I want you to know that you will find stability outside of this. You will find stability. You don't need a partner to provide that stability for you. You are completely capable to do things on your own. And if you're worried about your finances or your home or whatever without the extra income of this other person, you will be completely stable on your own. You don't need that assistance. And with communicating, I do feel like this is something that it is going to be a big communication. You are going to have to open your mouth and talk to this person or talk about the situation with someone, or maybe even this could be a lot of you going into counseling to see what you can do to reestablish the stability, because I feel like many of you, the foundation has been ripped out from under you. And so you feel like you're just on really rocky, shaky ground. And so it makes you nervous and afraid of change. But ultimately, you will be able to remake that foundation and stability. And we also, this is 38 and 39. So it's a progression once again. It's really interesting. And with the air element though, like, please don't be afraid to communicate, whether it is with that person. Change the way that you're communicating with yourself, because if it's just you and this doesn't really pertain to someone in your life, like I said, there's quite a few messages for this one. If it's just you and you don't have a partner or a friend that you're splitting off from or anything like that the month of October, this is also about how you speak to yourself, because a lot of the thoughts that we actually have are things that have been programmed in from a very young age. And so we continue to tell ourselves, I'm a loser. I'm never going to amount to anything. I'm never going to have this job. I'm never going to make this much money. I'm never going to be this talented or this beautiful or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever it is. But ultimately, most of the time when you actually stop and listen to those thoughts and change them, you'll realize that those weren't even your voice to begin with. Somebody else said those things to you first. And it's your job and responsibility to change them, to maybe seek help with changing them, but also just every time you hear those thoughts come up in your head, say no. Like, even if you've made a mistake and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, I made a mistake, da 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 da. Nah. You flip that phrase and you say, oh, I'm so human. Mistakes are so normal. I'm going to carry on and fix it now. It can be softer. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. This reading was heavy. October is going to be big and transitional for y'all. Let's go ahead and roll the astro dice. Man, we have the 11th house was also in pile number 1. So if that calls specifically to you when we talk about it, definitely check out pile number 1. But we have Cancer, the 11th house, and Saturn. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Saturn, if any of you are around age 28 to 30, you may be going through a Saturn return right now. And that could be, Saturn returns last more than a month. They are quite an extended period of time. But when we talk about Saturn, this is where you kind of need to be a little bit more disciplined so that you can kind of succeed and prosper. So there might be some disciplinary action you need to give yourself, whether it's a workout routine, a meditating routine, an eating routine, whatever it is. This is like, be more disciplined with yourself so you can have a stronger, better outcome. Having Cancer, this to me is a lot about family life. So I do feel like the month of October is going to focus on family for you in particular. And this could be that, maybe some of you are splitting your family, but maybe some of you actually are just spending more time with family, getting guidance from family, spending time with your loved ones. And then the 11th house, in this reading, it's not necessarily the same as pile number 1, but in this reading, I do feel like the 11th house is telling us more about friendship. Some of you don't have the family to back you up. And I'm here to tell you that family is not the end all be all. For some of you, family might be the best thing in your life, but for many of you, maybe you don't have family that you can turn to, and they are the worst. You can absolutely turn to your circle of friends, because the 11th house rules the house of friendship. So know that your support is there for you. The 11th house also does rule fame, which we talked about a little bit more in pile number 1. So if that sounds like something, definitely check that out. And that is all I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you do have a lovely October. I hope you are feeling good. Know that you will make it through this. And ultimately, anything that is going on, it's always for your betterment. It is for you to get through this big transitional period so you can live a life more fulfilled than you currently are. And please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Kloee Taylor. If you like any of the decks, the dice, or the candles, all the links are down below for you. And if you feel called to do so, it is never an expectation, but it is always appreciated, as you have donation links down below for my Venmo, Cashapp, and PayPal. I don't do this because I expect money from you. I do this because it is my divine calling, a big part of my purpose, and I love doing it. So it's never expected, but I always appreciate it, and I do pour it back into the channel. Many of these decks, 2 of these decks here, were purchased because of you, the help that you have given to me. So I really appreciate that. And I love you all so, so much. And I will catch you in a future video. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 3s. Welcome in. If you chose this pile, this is going to be your predictions for October. So first and foremost, if you are new to my channel, something we like to do here before each reading is an intention candle. So what we're going to actually do, let me tell you a little bit about this candle first. I'm getting ahead of myself. This pile, if you chose it, you chose the green candle, and green candles actually symbolize abundance, money, earth signs. So this is going to be Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Not necessarily, you could have those in your chart, like in your major placements, or maybe you're not an earth sign at all. But they also symbolize just material gain, things on the material plane, and bringing that abundance materially into your life. They also can resemble healing if you need deep healing. So you can choose to set one of those intentions around that. Basically, you just want to pick something that you want to bring into your life. It doesn't have to correspond to what I just said. You could pick literally anything. It could be something small, something big, a person, some way that you would like to feel. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up for you while you think on that for a moment, what kind of intention you would like to set. So we're just going to burn the bottom of this a little bit so it will stand up straight for us so we can get a nice clean burn. And what I like to do is actually put my hand over my heart. You can put your hands wherever you want to and just hold on to that intention that you've chosen, and let's take a deep breath on it. So okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and light this candle up for you. And what that is going to do is basically, as this burns down, that is going to be your intention going out into the universe so that it can come back to you. Now, this flame seems to be a little bit bigger than the others. Today, a lot of the flames started out kind of small. This one I feel like is pretty average size. So we will also read the flame sometimes if something is happening during the reading and like the flame gets bigger or moves all crazy. Sometimes it interacts with the reading. So, I do feel like whatever you are setting intention for right now, like it's a pretty good indication that it will be coming. Now the flame is a little bit wobbly, but it's still burning, I would say, pretty strongly. So that is a good indication of that manifestation. So let's go ahead and put this up here so we can actually still see it during the reading. And we're also going to roll the astro dice at the end of the reading, so that will be exciting. But let's go ahead and see pile number 3, what is coming for you the month of October. So we have the 4 of Cups reversed. We have the, looks like the, actually this is the 4 of Wands as well. The 4 of Wands reversed, which is interesting because we have a double 4. We have the Mother of Cups, and we also have the Hanged Man. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So first and foremost, I feel like with the double 4s, a lot of you are calling in a stronger, abundant foundation, because the number 4 is the number of foundations. It is the number of the home. And so right off the bat, I do feel like that is a strong indication that a lot of you are just wanting a more solid foundation the month of October, and that is what you're going to be working on. Now, with the 4 of Cups being reversed, this is a good indication that many of you that have felt really stagnant or stuck, you're going to become unstuck in the month of October, because when we see the 4 of Cups, normally it's like nothing is really satisfying to you. You kind of feel like opportunities maybe have been trickling in, but it's been nothing that really grabs you, and you're just not really satisfied. And I feel like this is you actually overcoming that, feeling dissatisfied in life before. The month of October, you're going to be coming into feeling more satisfied. And interestingly enough, I'm surprised that we have the 4 of Wands reversed, because I actually feel like I am being very much strongly told that this card, it is not necessarily meant to be read as a reversal today. It is meant to be read as a stronger indication. Because sometimes when cards are reversed, sometimes they are, I don't want to say the negative aspect of the card, because some of the cards in the reversal are better. Like to me, the 4 of Cups in reverse is better than when it's upright. But I feel like this card in particular, especially even the artwork and how it looks, this is a strong indication, if you chose this pile, that you're like overcoming really big obstacles this month. You are going to feel a lot more successful. Like the seeds that you planted in the summer, I feel like many of the things that you have been wanting to harvest are going to be coming to the great harvest. I mean, the autumn time, which the month of October falls into, is the great harvest during the year. So I feel like many of you, this is going to be a really beautiful time. The Four of Wands also can symbolize marriage. So some of you might be getting married this month, or going to weddings, or it's usually like a great victory for the home. And so it also could be a move, or you're just changing up your spaces. Now we have the Mother of Cups here as well, which I love this for October because it could be you just connecting with your mom. Maybe there's been some discourse and you guys are actually going to be reconnecting. It could also be oh, sorry, I'm like burping. And if you know anything about burping when you're doing any kind of divination, it's just the release of energy. It's also a strong confirmation of what you're saying is correct. A lot of times when I start to burp like uncontrollably, it's because there are so many messages coming in at once. I can't like spit them out fast enough. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. But with the Mother of Cups, we also, like, it's a strong connection to your own intuition as well as a mother figure. Now, this doesn't have to be your actual mother. It could just be a mother-like figure, maybe another divine female. For some reason, even though this card does not correspond, I am hearing from Spirit that some of you are going to be connecting with a Virgo, or you are a Virgo. The Mother of Cups normally is a water sign, which would be Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, but for some reason I'm hearing that many of you are going to be connecting with a Virgo. Your mother might be a Virgo, a strong feminine presence in your life might be a Virgo, or you're a Virgo. So somebody with strong Virgo energy is really coming through for some reason. We also have the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man, I feel like you are actually going to be moving out of this because we have the Four of Cups reversed here. I feel like with the Hanged Man, you're actually moving out of this kind of, the Hanged Man is like, I need to take a step back. I need to chill. I need to like really assess my life, my situation. And I feel like you're actually moving away from this phase. You've been doing that. You've been kind of hanging back, asking yourself what you want to create, maybe even putting in the work, and you're moving out of this stillness phase because you're more confident. You're going to be a lot more confident in the month of October, in your own intuitive abilities, in your ability to attract what you want into your life. And so there's going to be a lot less stillness is what I'm hearing. So I feel like if that's something you've been working towards, this is a really good thing. There's going to be more action-oriented things happening, and things are just going to be coming to you. So we also have Yang energy. It's really interesting because pile number 2 had Yin energy, which is the corresponding. So some of you may also want to check out pile number 2. So we have Yang energy, we have new life, and we have breathe. Oh, wow. This is beautiful. Okay. So for some of you with this new life card, I feel that if you're getting married, you're literally moving into a new phase of life. Some of you might be giving birth the month of October as well. Not everyone, obviously, that's not going to correspond to everyone, but some of you might be actually giving birth the month of October. And you're actually going to be becoming a parent, or maybe you are actually not the one giving birth, but you are the father counterpart to that, because Yang energy is the divine masculine. It is the fatherly energy. It is the father figure. And so I feel like for some of you, that might be the case. You're going to be becoming a father again, or a new father. With Yang energy, though, this is also very representational of kind of like emperor energy in the tarot. This is very like go-getter. I'm super fired up for my path ahead of me. I'm going to make things happen. It's a very like forceful energy, but not in like a gross way, if that makes sense. It's very like, I know exactly what I want to bring into my life. I know exactly where I'm going. Everything is making sense, and I'm going to go after what I want, because we also have the stars of destiny depicted here in the Yang card. And so it's like, I see what my destiny is. Maybe your destiny is going to be revealed to you, and you're going to finally have the confidence to actually go after it. And it's going to move you into a place of new life. Now, I feel like the four cards up top are actually very representational of new life as well, because you literally are ticking over into a new phase. Like I said, if this is a wedding, a move, some kind of great career victory, a new foundation has been built already, and you're ready to really advance to the next level, because everything in life moves on a cycle. And so I feel like for October, this is going to be the beginning of a really beautiful new chapter. Like the whole month is going to really feel brand new. And obviously every month feels brand new in a lot of ways, but this one, like many of you that chose pile number 3, it's not just like, it's like the feeling that you get on New Year's Day, where it's like, ah, a clean slate, a brand new year. This is fresh. It's like you're going to get that feeling, but it's going to come in the month of October instead of, I mean, you might also hit it at the new year too, but it's honestly going to be a breath of fresh air for you, because I feel like many of you have felt stagnant and really unsure of your choices for months. So this is like a really welcomed thing, the month of October. Things are finally going to feel like they're moving. I feel like many of you have kind of sat and plotted and planned, and now you're really sure. It's like, and if you're not sure, you're going to start moving forward anyways, and you're going to become sure with that Mother of Cups energy. I love that you have Yang and Mother of Cups in the same reading, because Yang is the divine masculine, Mother of Cups is the divine feminine. So you have this really beautiful balance going on in your life too. And it's like, because you took the time to pause already, you're going to be able to move so much freer, because it's like you took a lot of time to reflect appropriately so you can make smart decisions, which is beautiful, you know? And I feel like whatever you're going to be working towards in the month of October, if it's a new family, a new home, a new business adventure, a new school, whatever this newness is that's coming in, it's going to feel good. It's not going to feel difficult, because you really have come up with a concrete, solid plan of what you're doing. Now we also have the Spider card, and we also have Barmbrack. And with the Spider card, I love this card. I feel like a lot of people just kind of see spiders and they're like, ew. But honestly, spiders are so extremely symbolic. I feel like a lot of times as a culture, we have been very conditioned to be terrified and just murder spiders. Murder's kind of a strong word, but I apologize. It was the first one that came out of my mouth. You know, a lot of us have been very conditioned to like get rid of them immediately, when honestly, spiders are such a beautiful symbol. When you look at the symbolism behind the spider, spiders represent major creativity. Look at the way that spiders weave these beautiful, intricate webs. They take this time to really make a beautiful home. And I feel like that's really what you're doing. You're making this beautiful home for you. And it could be your literal, actual physical home, but it could be you just feeling at home within your soul. Like you are creating such a beautiful home. So this could also be your body, right? Your body is the home for your soul. It's your vessel. So you're creating a beautiful home, mind, body, spirit. And this also is a strong indication that some of you have really beautiful creative gifts. So anything that goes into like the fine arts, or this is also a big symbol to actually tap into your creative nature, because let me actually read what this says. The spider also talks about community and just like web weaving in general. So with community, I feel like because of your gifts, you're also able to weave a very beautiful community. So for some of you, you may be looking into starting like an online or a virtual business, and you will be able to start seeing that community show up for you in the month of October. Now, Barmbrack, I love this card because I've actually never seen it. I mean, I've seen it like in reading for myself, so I understand it, but I've never seen this card come up for someone else. I don't believe I've ever pulled this card in a reading. But Barmbrack, this card is like, you have all of the tools, you have all of the knowledge, And it's like you have every ingredient that you need to make this like super beautiful, succulent, tasty, I don't even know what this is, some kind of bread it looks like. You have all the tools in your toolbox that you need to make something beautiful. And when they all come together, something beautiful is made. So this could be about you actually driving a community together to create something beautiful, or just creating something beautiful yourself. So this card is this whole reading is very like breathing new life into old talents or to old gifts. And I really love that for the month of October. Now we also have the Taurus card, I have. And we also have the 4th house, which is roots. So this entire reading is very much about these 2 cards. It's very much about foundations, the roots, your home, laying those down. The 4th house also corresponds to the sign of Cancer. And Taurus, I have with the Taurus card. Taurus is the sign that rules over personal finance. So Taurus also rules over like the material wealth, material goods. So we have this beautiful blessing of material wealth as well as financial stability, and then this foundation of the home, whatever a home looks like to you, whether it's a home within yourself, a home with actual people, you're having your own home. This to me is very correspondent here with our 4 of Wands card and our 4 of Cups and the Mother of Cups. Actually, all of those speak to that same divine home roots energy. So with these 2 cards, I do feel like the month of October, you will see some kind of financial windfall coming your way. And you will also, I feel like a lot of you have been really wanting to move. I'm hearing that for some reason. Many of you have been wanting to move, or maybe you're wanting to purchase a home and not rent anymore. And I feel like in October, the home that you've been manifesting is going to become available, or you're going to move into it, or you're going to find the home that you've been looking for, or somebody is going to accept your offer on a home. There's a very strong energy of home for this reading. You're also going to be able to afford the home that you desire. Money is not going to be an issue in the month of October. And the last thing I wanted to do for this reading is I wanted to roll the astro dice for y'all, because I haven't done this in a reading yet, and I've worked with these for a very long time, and I've meant to pull them out. They're in a box that I have that's got cards in it, and I don't open that box all the time, so I don't see these all the time. And I was like, man, I'm gonna roll them this time. So this is just kind of a little extra added bonus for October to see maybe what we're gonna be seeing. Ooh, sorry, we almost dropped that one. So we have Capricorn, we have Mercury, and we have the 3rd house. So Mercury and the 3rd house actually kind of go together, because Mercury is the planet of communication, and the 3rd house is actually ruled by the sign Gemini. So I feel like many of you are going to be in negotiation potentially in the month of October, especially if you are looking to move home or buy a home or something of that nature, or maybe open new bank accounts, new savings accounts. You're going to have to communicate and negotiate. And I do feel like it's going to be a big feeling of responsibility for you, whatever this is, because we do have the sign of Capricorn. And let me just tell you, there is no other more responsible sign in the zodiac than Capricorn. You might even be a Capricorn, or you're marrying a Capricorn, or you have a major Capricorn placement, because with Capricorn being here, Capricorn is they are strong big daddy energy. They're ruled by the planet Saturn. They are if you ever need to figure out a responsible plan for you, you need to find your Capricorn friends, because they will be listen, Linda, stop crying about it. Let's get ish done. So I feel for this month of October, there is potentially going to be a negotiation. And also, the 3, this also can resemble groups, maybe you're going to meet some new friends as well, or be talking to new friends. But with Capricorn here, it could just be you're going to be communicating literally with a Capricorn. But Yeah, I love this for you. I feel like October is going to be a really fun, interesting time. I feel like you really are going to be abundantly blessed because you also chose the green candle, which green candles do talk about abundance and that financial gain. So I feel like in October, money is going to become a lot easier if it hasn't been, or even if it has, you're just going to be accumulating more of it. And it's going to be really beautiful. So I hope this reading resonated well with you. Please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Kloee Taylor. If you like these dice, the decks, the candles, anything, I link everything down below in the order that it appears. And lastly, if you feel called to do so, it is never an expectation, but always appreciated. I do have donation links for my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below. And if you feel called to, I would really appreciate it. Some of these decks, actually, this deck and this deck were actually purchased because of some of the donations that you have given to me. So I always pour everything back into the channel. I really do appreciate it. I don't do these because I expect money or some kind of something in return. I do this because I feel called to do so. So again, it is never ever an expectation, but I do appreciate it. So if you feel called to do so and you're able, I appreciate that. But I love you all so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, amazing, fantastic October. I mean, it sounds like you're going to, and I will see you all in a future video. Bye.